What's going on? It is my first ever live stream outside. What could go wrong, right? Hopefully not too much. But I have some cards in my hand because I can't type on the screen, but it's perfect for giving a quick little lesson. And I was on Hello Talk just a few minutes ago and saw a great question from a new subscriber, and it is Roosevelt, and he is from Peru. Not sure if he's going to be watching now or maybe he will catch me. Kale, how are you? Mr. Silver. I'm not sure if he'll be watching on replay or if most people will be watching on replay. Bumzia, Cecilia, welcome. Yeah, I figure most of the people who live in Europe will be sleeping. Are you able to hear me okay? I have in my AirPods. I think this might work. But the question on hello from Russia, hello, was I thought a pretty difficult one. Manuel, how are you? From Germany. I thought it was a pretty difficult one because even as a native speaker, I was, wow, how do you tell the difference between clench and cling and clinch? They sound so similar. Thank you, Jamie, for answering that. They sound so similar. So what I wanted to do is take a couple minutes and talk about them, and then maybe talk about any questions that people might have after. I'll be going live again tomorrow morning for me and a lot of South America. It'll be a little bit earlier because it will be right after Bob the Canadian's live stream. So we'll just go right after. I know Lolly and we and Luis, um, quite a few that are in that live stream. So, which, William, is that disappeared so quickly? But William, I didn't know that was Italian right there. Something about another video. I do get it back. Yeah. Sometimes when I get it, it stays around for a little bit. But you're welcome, William. But then it disappears. So Brazil, it is 1822. So that is, I think, an hour ahead of us. Yes. And I think Cecilia in Argentina is, oh, I thought you were an hour behind. Oh, so it's 5:20? See, in the United States, Larissa, what's going on? We use AM and PM. Another weird thing that we do in the United States, and I just made a video with questions from subscribers too. Nori had a lot of questions from Hungary, and Naima from Algeria. And I thought they were great questions, and that should be premiering tomorrow morning after the live stream. I'll edit it tonight, but all about how we use miles and not kilometers, and we use pounds and not kilograms. I guess we just have to be different in the United States. Can make it very confusing though. AM, PM. Do we think we're special or something like that? We can do things differently from the rest of the world. So let's talk about these words here. So it's clinch, clench, and cling. Clench, clench, and cling. I mean, I'm a native English speaker, and those sound very similar to me. So let's talk about this first one, clinch. Clinch. That means you have acquired something. And we often say a sports team might clinch a title. They're rewarded a title. It's clinch it. Zabeta, what's going on? Some people I know. Oh, Nori, thank you. I just recorded a video and a lot of your questions on it. So clinch usually means to acquire something. You've possibly had to work hard for it, and you finally have clinched it. You've clinched it, and it can't be taken away. Clinched. What are some other things that could be clinched? Now, you wouldn't say it for a degree, like once you have clinched your diploma, you could say it, but we don't normally say that. Clinch is almost often used with sports teams. They've clinched their division. They've clinched the championship. Clinched. The next one is clench. 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 This is most often used tightening body parts. So you could clench your jaw when you're really upset. And some writers will use that because it really shows somebody is upset or nervous. So they clench their jaw, clench, tighten. So some people, maybe if a writer wants to show how nervous somebody is, they might say they clench their butt cheeks. And when I was talking about this with Jamie earlier, that was the one we thought of first. Clinch is with the butt cheeks. Tighten, clench them, clench. Clench, 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 clench. So, and I think most people, if they're not trying to tell the difference between those two words, they will say them the same way. So let's see here. My cards. Clinch and clench. Clinch and clench. Super tough. It's a great question, Roosevelt. Great question. And the final one. This one's a little bit different from the other two, and it's cling. Cling. So that means to, you might hear it, cling together. Cling together. So we sometimes have these decorations we put on windows, and they're colorful and you can see through them. And they're called window clings because they cling right to the window. You don't have to attach them with tape or glue. They clingy. We can use it as an adjective, clingy. That means they won't leave you alone. They're always calling you. They're always texting you. Maybe if you start dating someone new and they're just way too much there, they're always right there. We could say that they are clingy, that they hang around too much. So clench, clinch, and cling. Does anybody have any questions about those three words? And I'll tell you that they weren't that common, but I won't say that we use them every day, but you will hear them in English quite a bit. So that's my little spiel. That actually might be German. I don't know. Manuel, is that German? Spiel. When we have like a short speech to deliver, we sometimes say a spiel. A coach might give a spiel right before a big game. It's nothing too long, just a little spiel, usually to educate. So a teacher might give a little spiel before class. Spiel. Yeah, we use that. I think it's German. It sounds German to me. I don't know. Is it Hungarian, Nori? Does it sound like a little toy you said, I think? Let me get the chat back up here. Spiel. Don't ask me how to spell it, but that's a little game. Oh, it's German. Good. So we use it as a little speech, a little spiel, little spiel. So there are 15 people in here. I've said my little spiel. Does anybody have any questions about those three words or pretty much anything else? I could stick around for a little bit. Yes, stick, cling, pretty much the same thing. Although, let's see, cling often doesn't need anything to help it. Like I said before, it just kind of is there. clings. So you could, let's see, what else could you cling to? Sometimes it doesn't actually have to be physical. Like you could cling to a thought. A thought could be clinging in your head, like it sticks around. Mirani, how are you? Welcome. So sometimes it is actually clinging, like the window cling, and then sometimes maybe it's a word that you learned in English, and unlike a lot that you forget, this one seems to have clung. Somebody mentioned an irregular verb. Cling, unfortunately, is. So present tense cling, past tense clung. C-L-U-N-G. Clung. Clung. And of course, in English, we have to make things difficult, don't we? So, a couple more. I mean, it's beautiful out here. So, I could stay out here for a little bit if people have any questions. The groundhog is still around. The trap is empty. There's a man walking by. I don't think you can see it, but he has his little son or daughter on his shoulders, and they're walking down the street. Let's see. Whoa. Oh, Mr. Silva has some Portuguese there. So interesting. So maybe that comes from the French, like so many of our words do. Portuguese, French, Romance language there. Keep having to touch this. You found them in Clinch behind the house? Clinch. I don't know. I don't know if that's related at all. Clinch. I don't think. Oh man, yeah, it's beautiful. The sky is just absolutely beautiful here today. It's a little cool. I'm not gonna lie. You can see the buds are starting to come on the trees. In the latest video, I talk a little bit about how we heat our houses because Nori had asked that. And so I do talk a little bit about the different kinds of trees that we have in Maine. And Maine is known as the pine tree state. So we have a lot of pine, but the tree behind me, I believe, is maple. Maple. There's a maple back there, but then there's also an oak. And we have to get, there's one that doesn't have any buds coming in, that one, because it's dead. It's been dead for a little over a year now, and we actually have to get it cut down. And one of my brother's friends came and looked at it, and it's going to be about $1,500 to get rid of. So, unfortunately, trees are beautiful. I love them. They offer shade that comes up sometimes, but when things go wrong and they have to be removed, it can get quite expensive. Uh-oh, something about my voice. It disappears so quickly. My voice isn't that clear. That's good to know because I can attach a microphone. And if I do a live, like a mobile, I'm on my phone right now, I can attach a microphone and it will be more clear. Yes, we do have some oaks in the neighborhood. Oaks are great trees. I mentioned how they're very sturdy and a lot of people like to burn them for firewood because they're a really strong tree. But same weather, nice. I live I live in the country. I would say compared, to like Sao Paulo, it's definitely the country. We have about 40,000 people that live in my city. So we live on what's called the outskirts. We live on the edge of the city, not in the downtown, not in the city center. So we have a lot of trees. We have possums. We have skunks. We have groundhogs. No way, William. $5. You learned English with a $5 book. That's awesome. I have some cheap books that I bought on eBay. I'm hoping they can help me learn Portuguese and Italian and Spanish. Oh, thank you very much. It is nice. It'll be a little bit nicer once everything fills in, but it's coming along. Trees are starting to bloom, which is great. Let's see. Hello. And if you are new here, please subscribe. I will be going live again tomorrow morning. And sometimes I do this. I come on at night. If I see a great question throughout the day, I did it a couple days ago, doing it now, obviously. Jamie is actually working. She has a job where she has to be on the phone for a little while. She's actually taking calls from people that have the coronavirus, but luckily she hasn't had to take many calls lately. So hopefully the cases will be going down. Um, okay, so in Cyrillic, I'm sorry. How and where to practice English with friends? In a there is a link to a Facebook group. It's called Learn American English with this guy, and there are a few people in there that practice English with each other. That's a good way to find people to practice with. And I also go on an app called Hello Talk, and it's completely free, and you can often find people to do some language exchanges with. Thank you. Yeah, it's quiet, it's beautiful here. Oh, Nori is talking about, yeah, the sequoias out west, mostly in California. But yeah, they are beautiful. Somebody asked earlier today if I'd been to California, and I have, but I didn't get to see the sequoias. That would have been an amazing trip if I was able to. Uh, I wish I could speak Portuguese too. Right. So the idea is that I will learn Italian. Been at it for a year. I was working on it today earlier. I'll work on it again tonight. And then maybe in a year, I'll understand Italian. And then I can work into French and then Spanish and then Portuguese. That would be great. I think what, 2 years for each language? Once I have Italian down, Spanish might come a little bit more quickly. But uh, I try to take care of our house. Yes, Jamie and I. It's a lot. I don't know if any of you own homes, but yes, we own our home, and there are often things that come up that need fixing. That's always something. Um, this year, it's going to be fixing that tree, getting rid of it, and then fixing our fence that blew over in a storm last year. The roof is good, but that will need fixing in about 10 years, and that won't be cheap. We had a hot water heater that went on us a couple years ago. That gets expensive. So owning a home is expensive, but it's an investment. So we still are making money off the house when we want to sell it in who knows when. But real estate is a good investment. Oh yeah, James. The water heater was maybe 6 years ago, but it was a mess. We eventually had to redo our whole basement because of it. But 3 months, I'm not that. I'm a boomer. I'm a boomer. Takes me a long time to learn languages. But I think once I understand, at 44, I started learning Italian at 43, and so it just takes me a little longer because I'm so old and I mean, old. I say old. I know to some people I'm younger, but it just takes time. But I'll keep working at it. It'll happen. Shref, I did. I had a really good day considering all of the problems with the coronavirus and us having to be inside. Our state is pretty safe. Our cases are pretty low. We have food. Our family's healthy. It's pretty good. It was a good day. Jamie and Ace got to get out for a little while. They went biking. We had a good lunch. Uh, a really good restaurant around us, and he's been very good to our family. He always donates when we want money for kids' sports, or we had lunch from the KPs. I think I did a video about KPs. I think a listening exercise video. We had KPs today again. If you saw that video, I wish. Yes, show chat. Maybe it'll stay up here. Ooh, the wind's coming up. A little colder. All right, I'm back to the beginning. Oh, what movie? Oh, yeah, sure. What movie are you watching? I'm wondering here. Jamie was talking about seeing friends, and they were outside, and of course, 6 feet apart. And like I said, our cases are really low, and I think the governor, I think Jamie said, our governor is going to be reevaluating and see how much we can open up. Jamie actually got her hair done yesterday, I think it was. So they have opened up. The hairdressers, we call them, the people that cut hair. And maybe Jamie can come on one day and talk about all of the precautions, the things that her hairdresser did before she got there to keep everyone safe, while she was there to keep everyone safe. But that is one area of business that is opening up. Barbershops and hairdressers. They opened up, I think it was Monday, wasn't it, Jamie? I think they it was Monday. And what else has opened up? I can't remember. Movie theaters have not opened up, and we just got the news that one of the local theaters will not be opening after the coronavirus. They weren't able to make money, of course, so they had to shut down. The amusement park that my family and I often go to in the summer, they're not going to be opening. I hope they can make it. I hope they can stay in business. But it's scary at how many small businesses who have had to close over this period of time might not be able to open back up because they didn't make enough money. Sadly, see, yeah, it always disappears. Why do they think? Oh, Friday. Yeah, with Chris Tucker and Ice Cube. That's an old one, but I love pretty much any movie that Chris Tucker is in. I especially like Rush Hour. He's in with Jackie Chan, and he says, "Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?" I don't know if you've seen that movie. That's a good movie. I need to show that to my kids because I was watching some clips of it a couple days ago, and I think it still would hold up. Friday, it's been a little while since I've seen it, but I remember really liking Ice Cube's dad in that movie, if I remember correctly. The actor just passed away, I think at the end of last year, but that is a classic. classic American movie from what, the 90s, I think? Uh, who speaks Oh, oh, in the movie, yes, the accent that is spoken in Friday is quite a bit different than, the way I speak, absolutely. It's a different dialect for sure. Mm, William. It's a good movie. It makes me actually want to go watch Friday right now. They're just, what is his name? I can't remember Ice Cube's name, but I don't know. It's a good movie. Greg? It's a weird it's like a very plain name. His It's not Greg, but it's something like Greg. Oh, Luis, is asking if I work out like Jamie. Yeah, Jamie works out a lot. I don't work out as much as I should. On Monday, I'm getting what's called we call it a cortisone shot. I don't know if I will describe it, but I would say this is not a term you have to know in English. But a cortisone shot, I get it. I've talked about it before. I get it in my ankle because I broke my ankle when I was younger and I have arthritis. So at my age, I like to walk, get a few miles in. But right now, and for a long time, my doctor's office was not seeing patients for cortisone shots. So I have had to stay off my ankle. But once Monday comes and I get my shot in my ankle, it feels good. The shot hurts a little bit, not much. And then after, it's just I'm good for 6 months. My ankle doesn't hurt again for 6 months, sometimes a year. But and of course, our gym is closed. There is talk of opening the gym back up, but I don't know how Jamie would feel. I don't know if I would be willing to go into the gym right now. They've stopped charging us, which is good. We used to pay by the month and they would take it right out of our bank account. And we have an app on our phone and we just scan when we go into the gym and we can go work out. But they shut down about 2 months ago and luckily they stopped charging us. And I think Jamie and I were both willing to pay just so they could open back up when everybody was ready. I would be willing to pay. It's like I think we pay $40 a month for two people, and our kids can go. So we really pay about $10 a person, and that's a small price to pay to keep them open when they are allowed to open back up. But I don't know. I haven't heard if they will be opening or not. Hope so. I've never seen Point Break. I've never seen Top Gun. And those are movies of my childhood that I certainly should have seen. Like, it's a surfing movie, isn't it? With Patrick Swayze and Keanu Reeves, Point Break, and Top Gun. There is one of my friends. His name's Mike. Different Mike. Most guys in the United States my age are named Mike, and most of the ladies are named Jennifer. That's a big, big name right there for people born in the 70s in the United States. And he hates it that I haven't seen Top Gun. I need to see Top Gun. I think they're making things have been lost because of the coronavirus. Sure. Mikhail, lend, borrow, and what was the other one? Lend and borrow are the same exact thing. I think I made a video where I used so lend and borrow. are the same exact thing. So, example, my neighbor, that house over there, great family. His name's Ron and Lynn. Ron and Lynn. Well, maybe my lawnmower breaks on me, unfortunately. He could lend me the lawnmower. So he would be giving me his lawnmower and I would borrow it from him. And you said O. I think O was the other one. And say I borrowed $20 from my neighbor Ron, I would owe him that back. So with objects that aren't going to be hurt, um, even though we say borrow sugar, something and you have run out of sugar, you can go to your neighbor and give it back, borrow. The trap. Oh, he's right there. The groundhog is up on that hill, but he blends in. He's somewhere like right over there. Speaking of groundhog, the next thing I was going to say is I borrowed a trap to catch the groundhog from my sister. And her trap didn't work that well. So I went out and Jamie and I bought another trap, so we have it. But I do need to give that trap back to my sister that she lent me. That's an irregular verb, by the way. So Ron will lend me the lawnmower, and I could say he lent me the lawnmower. What's up? Oh, Jamie just told me that I'm lagging, and I'm not sure why. She just came out and said that I'm lagging. Lagging means behind. Sometimes it will stop. It's almost like stalling. That has come up in the chat before, stalling. So I was lagging. So now I got off our Wi-Fi and now I'm on a satellite. So it should free it up a little bit. Let's see here. Mateo, what's going on, man? Oh, now I see the lagging. Oh, I think have you mentioned this before, William, about Lance Armstrong? I think you mentioned it about the other guy. Somebody did. And I can't remember his name. But Lance Armstrong won a bunch of titles. Unfortunately, he was doing a lot of drugs that were illegal to that sport. So that's one reason he did so well, right? What's the other guy's name? On the tip of my tongue. We sometimes say that on the tip of my tongue. I can't quite remember. Like I know the name. We actually use some French terms for that. So I think it's presque vu when it's on the tip of your tongue, and we also use deja vu. What is that guy's name? I think somebody has asked me about him. Oh, can't remember. I'm sure. Yeah. So I think Lance Armstrong is a pretty horrible human being from what I've seen. I watched a documentary on him. He seems like he has a really big ego. He thinks a lot of himself, and I don't think he has admitted that what he did was wrong. He got an unfair advantage. Biking. What is that guy's name? I bet by now you've already said his name. What is his name? Maybe you haven't. What? Whose birthday is it? Somebody's birthday today? Was it May 7th? Mateo. Happy birthday. I should know how to say happy birthday to you in Italian. Is it Feliz Cumpleaños? Feliz Cumpleaños, Mateo? Uh, oh, uh, Sergey. Yes, B for Boomer. That's a good one. No, it's B for the Boston Bruins, which is the local hockey team. The local hockey team out of Boston, and Boston is about 2 hours away from me by car. And I think I've mentioned that in this chat too. is that we often say the town. We say how far away it is by the time it would take you to drive there. So Boston is 2 hours away from me, and New York City is 6 hours away from me. Buon compleanno. Grazie. Boom. Oh, I should start singing happy birthday. No, you don't wanna hear me sing. That is for sure. Oh, Lance, yeah, how many Tour de France's did he win? Won, like, 7 or something, and he had cancer? Testicular cancer, we call it? Uh, Buon compleanno. There was a question here that I wanted to answer. Oh, what, I was hoping somebody would say that guy's name. He won, like, 1 Tour de France, and apparently he did it clean. If he's not on drugs, we said he did it clean, or if he wasn't caught for those drugs. And if he did it on drugs, like Lance Armstrong, he did it dirty. He did it dirty. So, what kind of music do I like? Well, at my age, 44, so I like Dave Matthews Band. Jamie and I watched a concert last night. They showed it on YouTube. It was a live replay. Floyd Landis, thank you so much. Thank you. That won't bug me anymore. Yes, Floyd Landis. But he doesn't get as much press as Lance Armstrong, of course. And he's one of the few Americans who have won the Tour de France. Who's the other? Was Greg LeMond? Is he also is he a swimmer? I think there was one other guy that won for the United States, the Tour de France. And we actually have in the United States a biking channel. It's a channel devoted to racing on bikes. So of course, when Tour de France is going on, that is being shown. But they also show, I think it's called the Cycling Channel. So I'm not sure if that's available in other parts of the world, but it's pretty good. Oh, Luis. Yes, the first 2 seasons of Stranger Things I watched. I actually have a T-shirt, which is the middle school that they go to. I can't remember it right now. I have a T-shirt of them, and I also have a T-shirt of Dustin. But I love the first 2 seasons. And then last year, I started learning Italian, so that's been my main hobby. I haven't watched as much TV, so I haven't seen the 3rd season yet. I would like to, but hmm. Did you watch it, Luis? And if you did, yes, for boomers, it's a great series. And a lot of my daughter's friends, her age, she's 14, they like Stranger Things also. Jamie, sorry, my daughter doesn't like it though because she doesn't really like scary things. And Jamie won't watch it with me either, which I can't blame her. It's great though. Um, these chairs, I don't know. This one. We have 4 of these chairs, and one of them decided to rust. And so this is the rusty chair right here. So this is definitely some sort of metal, and then this is something that we might call wicker. We might call that wicker. So we probably need to get some more furniture soon. They're holding up pretty well, but sometime soon. Ozark. Wait, stai imparando l'inglese, amico mio? I'm trying. I'm trying. Now, Start and put on. Oh, you. I think you said, "Do you want me to teach you English, my friend?" Right? Is that what that says? Imparando. 7 tours. Yeah. So I mean, that's an amazing thing. Unfortunately, he did it while on the juice. We sometimes say with steroids on the juice. So who knows if he hadn't been on the juice, could he have still won those without it? We'll never know. Oh, nice. So yeah, the music that I like, Dave Matthews Band. But if you're talking 70s and 80s, I like Led Zeppelin. I like Van Halen. I like Guns N' Roses, which is at the end of the 80s, early 90s. So, but I also like a couple bands that are so American that you've probably never heard of them. Jamie hates them. So, and people tell me all the time they hate my music, and I don't care. I don't care. But Grateful Dead, now they're older, but they're really good, and they hit their peak I think in the 70s. And then there's another band called Fish, Phish, Fish. I like them. I like them, but not many people do. Do my neighbors know that I make videos? Yeah, for the most part, they've seen me. My neighbors across the street know that I make them. She's also a teacher, pretty much. He's seen me. Ron and Lynn have seen me make videos. This woman, back there, she's not very nice. She's the only one of our neighbors. She's just not that nice. But she saw me making my video earlier today because I went around talking about Nori's question on how we heat the house. So I showed where our oil gets delivered, and she was out there. She's always very nice. Um, when my kids were younger, they called her Miss M or Miss Meanie. They would play in the woods back there, right back there, back there, and she would often tell them like, "You can't play back here." But our friends up the hill, they own that land, and of course they said, "Yeah, play there anytime." But she stays to herself. So even though she's not the nicest, wait, can she hear me? You think she can hear me? I don't care if she can hear me. We get along fine. It's just she's the one neighbor of ours that just stays to herself a little bit. So, but I like having her as a neighbor because besides those few things that she's done, she stays to herself. I tried because she's an older woman, and when we first moved in here, I offered to help her mow her lawn. She was she didn't want my help, that's for sure. I was out there doing it. I could have done it very easily. Um, yeah, they we could not be happier, Nori, with our neighborhood. My son's best friend lives right up there. Of course, they can't see each other as much these days, but it's a great neighborhood. My brother, you can't see it, but he lives. It's hard to figure out how to do that. He lives like through there. You can't see his house, but my mom and my brother live up there. So it's a really good life. I think sometimes I try never to take it for granted. That came up in the chat earlier today. Like when you know you have something good, you should remember that you have it good, and we do. We definitely do. It's safe. You know. Yes, that is nice, good memory. That's Lynn's house, and she made the cupcakes for us. Yes, you remember that from that live stream I think I did outside? Right, on the Facebook Live, I think it was. That was before I could go live on YouTube. Steel trap. Is that what we talked about? Aronis. Steel trap mind. Nice job. All right. Any more questions? Law, what's going on? Welcome. It's the sun. The sun is going over on the other side of the house. So we have a couple more hours of sunlight, but it's getting a little chilly out here. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Uh-oh. I see some Italian. It keeps disappearing on me. Yeah. Yeah, my pronunciation is not great. I try though. I try, right? A for effort. Uh, oh, thank you, Nori. Thank you, Nori. I can't pronounce her either. Laura Pausellini? Pausel She was one of the first. I think she's a singer, right? She was one of the first singers I listened to in Italian. But I like Ultimo now. Aroni and I are big Ultimo fans. This chat is so difficult. Hey, boy. Uh, I'll probably get going here pretty soon. Paradise City. Oh, rock and metal. I don't know if this is metal enough for you, but oh, Queen, one of my favorites. Metallica. Like I was just listening to some Metallica. I saw Metallica back in 1994, June of '94. It was a good show. Outside and Panther. Nori, is that why your name is Panthera? It's not because of the group, is it? Panthera? They weren't. It was who did I see? I saw Danzig and man, who Suicidal Tendencies. That is who opened for Metallica at that show. But Panthera, is that why? Nori, I must know. Panthera. Oh yeah, it's hopefully we'll be back to that, right? Just going down and buying things in the grocery store. Hopefully that will come back soon. All right, just a couple. I just got to notice that my phone was dying too. I have 20%, but Nori. Ah, okay. I thought it was more because of like a tiger kind of thing, but Panthera is a heavy metal band. So when I first saw your name in Bob the Canadian's chat, I think it was, I was like, is that Panthera, the band? All right, so why don't we wrap it up? My hands are getting a little cold. Figure this chat thing out right now. Oh, Kozastaya Bun. Okay, I know what he's saying there. He's wondering. William is wondering what I'm drinking, and it's just that water that I have that is flavored. It's not alcoholic. It's not alcoholic. So this chat is difficult to deal with. Ah, tea is not that common in the United States, and I'm not sure why, but we like coffee way more. I don't know if it is because of the Revolutionary War, and I'm not sure if anybody has heard of the Boston Tea Party, but when the colonies or the United States was controlled by Great Britain, I think we were a bunch of tea drinkers. I think. But then tea was a British thing. So I'm not sure if that's why we are more coffee drinkers. If it goes all the way back to the Revolutionary War, which was 1780s, late 1770s. So I don't know if that's why, but yeah, hot tea. But coffee, wouldn't you say coffee is way more popular than tea is in New England? Oh, it's a different kind of tea though. Like we in the South, we drink sweet tea, sweet tea. So hot tea, in my opinion, is not as popular as it is in England, where literally, I'm sure many of you have been to England, but when I was in England, just for the week, but it was kind of a thing in the afternoon that you would stop for tea. You would stop tea time. Mm, not quite the same here. Uh, oh, Luis, thank you. Thank you. I enjoyed the conversation. All right, I think I got to all of them. Uh, Matteo. How is that when I pronounce your name? Matteo. I know I rush it. Matteo, and Aroni. That's as good as it gets for me right now. Aroni. See, I gotta make sure I roll the R as best I can. Aroni. Aroni. I don't know. McDonald's. I saw something about McDonald's. Ah, such a really McDonald's coffee is the best. There are some people that like McDonald's coffee. Their sweet tea though is legit. Legit. It's the real thing. When Jamie and I lived in the South, of course, she's from the American South, but when I lived down there, sweet tea is of course a very big thing, like Jamie said. And unless you make it yourself, which I can do, I can make some pretty good sweet tea. You can't find good sweet tea in the North. Until a couple years ago, McDonald's started carrying sweet tea, and their sweet tea is awesome. And I make some good sweet tea, but I mean, I make better sweet tea, I think, than McDonald's, but man, it's good stuff. A lot of calories in the sweet tea, though, lots of sugar. But yeah, Aroni, you need to maybe record it again for me, and I will try to perfect it. I don't even ask me to say your last name. I can't. I can't. I mean, I'm all messed up with the last name. I'll try to get better. Speaking in Italian will come. I'm concentrating on the listening right now. The reading is my strongest. Uh, I think that's about it. I think I answered everything. Right? No way. You worked at the Golden Corral, William? All right. This is a good chat, but I know people are chatting, which is great. I don't want to stop this, but white tea. I've William, that's crazy. But William, where do you live now? I for some reason I thought you lived in Brazil, but you are typing some Italian, so maybe you live in Italy? Geez, I'm all confused. Oh, ah, all right, Matteo. Matteo. What should I call you? Matt. How about that? That sounds Italian, right? Hey, what's up, Matt? Matteo. Rama Jamma. This is it's the University of Alabama, where Jamie and I graduated school, and it's our alma mater where we graduated from. And we have a chant at football games where it basically goes Rama Jamma. Wait, what is it? How does it start? Rama Jamma, give 'em hell, Alabama. I cannot remember the beginning, but it's Rama Jamma, Yellow Hammer, give 'em hell, Alabama is what we. Oh, yes. Thank you, Jamie. We have to do a call to another team like, hey, Auburn. Yeah, it's we just beat the hell out of you, Rama Jamma, Yellow Hammer, give 'em hell, Alabama is what we say. Yeah, you would have to. It doesn't have quite the same effect unless you're like, we just beat. Yeah, unless you have a team that you can yell at after you've beaten them. It's definitely not the nicest thing to do, but Alabama is one of the best college football teams ever, maybe the best. I know I graduated from there. They might be the best. They have in the last 10 years, I think they have 6 national championships. Alabama is a in college football, it doesn't get much better, to be honest. So, and it's a good education school, often ranked in the top 25. So it's got the education and it has the sports teams. But once a team comes into our stadium and they often get beat, we will say that chant. So Auburn Tigers, they are our biggest rival, our biggest enemy. So we say, "Hey Auburn, we just beat the hell out of you. Ramma Jamma Yellow Hammer, give them hell, Alabama." So, but when you have 103,000 people yelling that, it can be pretty intimidating. It's fun, a lot of fun. College football, it's crazy. Oh, very nice. Austin, Texas. Out of all the cities in the United States that I haven't been to, Austin, Texas is the one that I think Jamie feels the same way. We would love to go to Austin. It's called the live music capital of the country. You may have heard of Nashville, and there is a lot of live music there. There's a lot of live jazz music in New Orleans. Jamie and I love New Orleans, but we've never been to Austin, Texas. And they have a very good football team there too, the University of Texas. But I would love to go to Austin. Number one city in the United States that I want to go to that I haven't been to yet. All right, so and the yellow hammer is Alabama state bird, as Jamie said. All right, so yes, I need to do my homework. All right, thank you guys so much for joining. I hope this was interesting. I don't know if I didn't answer as many questions. I was mostly just talking about me and about the United States. But okay, so Jamie left a link. I could put a link. Oh, okay. Nice. So that is probably when you have all 103,000 people screaming. Yeah, college football is not understood by the entire country. Like a lot of people in the North don't understand college football, but in the South, it's very, very, very important. I could probably do a video on that, but I don't know if anybody would like it. But yeah, college football is very meaningful to people in the South for a lot of reasons. But, all right, so why don't we end it there? Thank you guys so much for joining. I had a lot of fun. Hopefully, you did too. and we'll get out of here, I think. Thank you guys so much, and we'll do it again tomorrow morning for me. Tomorrow morning for me, and I know for some of you in South America, it'll be in the morning, and for some of you in France and Italy and Hungary, it'll probably be the afternoon. So thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys. Maybe continue the chat in Facebook. Somebody write a comment. We'll chat throughout the night. How about that? All right, we'll see you guys.